How about that, Sugar?
Yeah. What's up, man?
Episode number 26. Coming to you of the Future Motocross Radio. I'm your host, RJ Huss. We've got our co-host, Mr. Sugar Shane.
Yes, sir.
Bringing the guns out today. Look at that, man.
Big night, lightning hockey night last night.
Yeah, lightning game going on. And
scored way too many goals.
Yeah, they sure did. Episode 26, man, brought to you guys by Premium Outdoor Products. Anybody looking for some outdoor living space stuff? Premium Outdoor Products is located in Clermont, Florida, right off of Highway 27. They are open Monday through Saturday. You can look them up on their website, but anybody that's needing some outdoor furniture, outdoor kitchen, quality USA products for any outdoor space, any outdoor living space. So pretty cool to have them on the episode. They're also on our semi-truck, the Premium Outdoor Products guys. They came by and saw us at Red Bull Day in the Dirt. So that was cool to meet them and have them a part of it. So anybody needing any of that stuff, man, Premium Outdoor Products over in Clermont, Florida. They've got a lot of cool things. And I was looking at the gallery of pictures of stuff they had on their website, and it's pretty neat stuff. But
I need to check that out.
Yeah.
For around my pool and everything.
No doubt. I know my wife would like to go over there and look at it. So I think here in the next week or two, we're going to head over there and check them out in Clermont. It's not too far from us. And we've got a little space by our pool out back that she wants to have something built up over there that I know you've been talking to her about. But anybody that's looking for some outdoor furniture, outdoor grills, kitchen, they have it all. Premium Outdoor Products right there in Clermont. And we got a guest in studio, Sugar.
We do.
We have a guest in studio here, the 242 himself, Mr. Garrett Hoffman.
Good to be here, folks.
Garrett, you're actually over in that Clermont area right now, aren't you?
Yeah, been there for maybe 3 years or so.
There you go. But you're not always from Florida, right?
No.
Where are you from?
From Maryland.
Maryland. What part?
Harford County. It's like 45 minutes north of Baltimore.
Okay.
Right on the PA line.
Yeah, so not far from Baltimore. I mean, obviously that's where you guys would fly in and out of and travel from and stuff like that. But born up there in Baltimore, tell me about kind of growing up. I mean, getting on a dirt bike. I mean, how is that up there? I mean, it's got to be a little bit chillier there than Florida.
Yeah, dude, it's cold. You only get to ride maybe like, 7 months out of the year.
Okay.
That's why we all came down here. But I got into riding through just my family. My dad, my brother used to do it.
What was the first bike for Garrett Hoffman?
PW50.
Oh, the P-Dub?
Yeah, I still got it.
The go-to bike?
Yeah, I went to Loretta's in it. I still got it. I want to hang it up in my house when I get one.
Oh, dude, that'd be sweet.
That'd be super cool.
Seems like there's a pretty big racing community in Maryland, though. As far as like from my visiting there and going to Budds Creek, it seems like there's a lot of racers up there.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot. There's a lot of local racers. Like Budds Creek fans, they pop off. Like, they go hard.
Yeah.
But I think it all came from like Travis coming out. Travis, led everything to Maryland.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it
but
definitely did. But how many brothers do you have? You have quite a few brothers.
Yeah, I got 4 boys.
4 boys.
Yep, all 4 boys.
Man, I bet your mom was pure chaos.
Oh, dude, I was supposed to be the girl. I was getting born and everything. We were trying for a girl, they say, and she wanted to bring me home in a dress. For sure. My dad was like, hell.
So you're the youngest?
Yep. I'm the baby.
Yeah, so youngest of 4 boys, man. Your parents had their hands full, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
I have 1 boy and 2 girls, and I can hardly manage that.
Only one in the family that races motorcycles?
So Alec, my brother, he raced too. Same with Dylan. They all raced, but they didn't really do anything crazy. Alec made it to Loretta's twice. Both years broke his femur. Didn't get to go. So then he just said, I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna go to a normal high school and get graduated and stuff, and just focus on myself. But
there you go.
Other brother Brady, he rides horses, so we kind of chose 2 gnarly sports, like super expensive. He was doing like show jumping and going. He was flying to like Florida, doing everything in Maryland, doing all he can, and had a dad built him a barn, got 4 horses, which they were we paid young, but they were worth like $65,000 each.
Yeah,
but no, they
dude, horse racing is expensive.
Anything with horses, I mean, they're hay burners, man. They just sit there and eat all day.
Yeah,
and then,
no kidding.
Yeah. But you currently live in Clermont, you came down. You and I talked about it off air before we got on the episode, but you came down. What was it, roughly 3 years ago?
Yeah, roughly 3 years ago. I came to Central Florida,
sleeping on RT's couch.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so I came down. I was maybe first time I went to RT's. I was maybe 13. I went there, lived with it was Austin Tuskoff. I remember Mason Gonzalez was there with us. Like there's some good dudes. And then he opened up his basement. He had a living quarters. So it was like 3-4 beds in one room. Then he had an outdoor couch and cot and everything, which was super cool. And then I stopped doing that. I would go there for maybe like a month out of the year. Out of the wintertime, it was too cold, snowing in Maryland. Then he quit. He stopped training me. He said, no, I'm walking away. I'm done. He opened up a Temple float spa, which was, I actually have one of the spas. It's a big egg. It's a float pod. It's 10,000 gallons of water, but 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt. So it's so buoyant. You hop in, it's completely dark, and you just float. Float right at your ear and everything. So he opened that. It was crazy. He went a complete different direction. But then
10,000 gallon egg.
Yeah, pretty much.
What?
It's
I've never seen one.
It's like a little capsule. It looks just like an egg when it's closed, but it's more buoyant than the Red Sea. So you just sit there and float without trying. You can do a lot of mental training, and all the magnesium and the salt, it'll absorb into your muscles. It recovers you super fast.
Wow.
So I lived with them. He went that direction. I kind of quit through just family issues. My mom getting surgery and stuff like that. So yeah, we stopped, didn't really ride much, and sold everything. Sold the camper, bikes, trailer. I kept the pit bike and my PW. Yeah. So then
talk about that a little bit. Go into it. I mean, you and I have had the opportunity to talk about it, but for the people that listening that don't know, or you talk about growing up as the youngest of 4 brothers in Maryland, getting on the P-Dub first, going through doing some amateur stuff. Did you ever have any big amateur success, like any titles or anything like that?
Dude, I didn't really I wasn't very great as an amateur, not at all. I don't know why. The biggest accomplishment I had up until maybe 2019 Loretta's was I made it to Loretta's in 2009 on my PW. I remember when they ran the hopper gear and stuff like that. They were trying to make it a lot quicker.
Okay.
So I didn't run one at Loretta's, so I was getting crappy starts. The guy who built my engine going there did a horrible job. I got 0 starts, but I'd work from my way. 38.
We won't mention his name.
No, I don't even remember his name, honestly. But
engine builder on a Pee-wee.
Yeah, dude, it was bad. It was 50 dads. They go crazy.
Well, that's a competitive class.
Oh, dude, the 50s are gnarly. Yeah. But I would work my way from the back to the front. I was just having fun. But I got a whole shot, and I got 9th overall. That was my biggest success up until 2019, I think. I podiumed 250B Limited, and that was the kickstart of where I was dang, a little taste of success for once. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, maybe we have something here.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So I didn't really have much of a successful amateur career.
Yeah.
Just kind of working my way up through the pros now.
So you get through that 2019, that podium in the B class, and you kind of say, okay, man, we could actually try this.
Right.
We may have a chance here to do something. So is that when you decided to come down to RT?
That was pretty much that was my first, I'm pretty sure that was my second year at Sandbox. I was at Moto Sandbox for 1 year, and then I podiumed then. And then I was look, I hit him up. I was I want you to be there for me. I want you. I don't want anyone else. I want my guy.
Yeah.
So he ended up, he sold his float spa because I think something happened with his dad. So he was I'm going to help my dad out. So he sold all 4 tanks, which they were, dude, stupid expensive. They're a couple grand themselves. So he gave me one. So I have one in my garage in Clermont.
Nice.
So I have that for my own little recovery business. And then he, came back to training.
Nice.
But I think this is going to be his last year with me. I think he's going to do his own way again.
Yeah.
He's kind of getting a little burnt out. RT's been around for a while.
Yeah, a time or two. No doubt there. But so now you come down to Florida. You're living in Clermont. You're training right now at the Dog Pound.
Right.
Used to be the 83 compound. Obviously, Lawrence has acquired it. Now it's the Dog Pound. So you get in a race there, and you're right now you're doing the Yamaha. And I was looking up. You've made every night show that you've gone to this year, right?
Yeah, so far.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm super happy. That was my biggest thing. I came into the season not knowing where I was. I had an injury the year before, broke my leg, and so I felt super good that year. I didn't know if I'd be able to get back to that point. I was really nervous. Came back, and all I want to do is make every night show. If I can make every night show, be on the TV, be in the racing, and just try and be somewhat in the mix, maybe get a whole shot here and there, just to put myself up front. I was very content, but it's gone pretty good so far. I'm trying to get for that first main event still.
Yeah. No, that's good. But you're kind of right there on the bubble.
Yeah, I'm right there. I've had a couple of good races. Got 7th, won an LCQ, and then was in a transfer position. I wouldn't say cleaned out. I got cross jumped, but kind of took myself out of the race. So
you're just doing East Coast?
Yeah, just East Coast.
Yeah. So you talked about that the injury that you had last year. So coming up through this right now, we just mentioned you did you've made every night show that you've tried to put it in for this year, but your outdoor schedule, potential possibility of getting that injury, which had some hardware, right?
Yes.
So possibly trying to go get that looked at with the doc? Yeah,
so I'm trying to get it looked at because for cross training, I can only cycle. I do 1.5 hour cycles on Wednesdays, 2 hours on Saturdays, and it's kind of getting over to where my hardware, I have 4 screws in my knee and 2 screws in my ankle. Rod through the tibia, which is holding it all together, and that's what's bothering me. I don't know if my body's rejecting it or if it's just motocross is a gnarly sport. It's just a lot of impact, you know. So
no doubt.
I'm thinking about. I have a consultation May 5th after Nashville. I'm not going to race Salt Lake. I'm going to do Nashville, drive back to Maryland, get it all figured out. Hopefully, he lets me get it taken out because that was my first ever surgery. I don't have any other hardware in me, so I didn't know what it felt like, but it sucks. Like, it's just when it's cold, especially in Maryland. When it's cold, I know when the weather's coming. I know when it's going to snow. If it's damp, rainy, like it aches, and I never thought that it would.
How long ago was that hardware placed in your leg?
November of 2021.
Yeah, so about 18 months.
Yeah, it's been a little over a year.
So wouldn't the bone be like healed by now?
Right.
So where you can get it removed?
Yeah. So
should be.
Yeah, that's the plan. But I called him and I was like, look, man, like, can we get it out? And the last time I was in there for a follow-up, he said I want it in for a year.
Oh, wow.
If anything, I just wanted the screw out of my knee because you can see the screw like pop out of my skin like at certain movements. Like it's not in there very deep. But then we just got on a call and he said he wants to keep it in for 2 years. But I mean, I can't deal with it anymore. It sucks. I don't know if he can tell me what to do with my body or not, but I want this stuff out.
Well, I mean, go over there and get an opinion, you know.
Right, for sure.
See what he says and try and figure that part out. But as far as, you know, transitioning from amateur into pro stuff, and then, you know, now I know you've got to race some outdoors. You got a top 20 in the outdoors.
Yep.
So I saw some of the outdoor results, and then, you know, your supercrosses, like I said, you've made every night show this year that you've tried to get into, and that's success in its own. But outside of just talking about the racing and the results, what is your personal favorite part of the aspect of it? Is it during the week? Is it at the race? If it is at the race, what part of it?
Dude, it's got to be at the race. Like, I think, I don't know. I mean, maybe the guy's a psycho, but I don't really know anybody that enjoys the weekly grind. Like, the weekly grind is so hard and it's so, like, mentally and physically beat down. Like, when you go to the races, that's when you have fun.
Yeah.
When you line up, you're in the tunnel, you're watching opening ceremonies, the guys are rappelling with the American flag. Like, dude, it's sick. Like, I love it. I get chills every time I watch opening ceremonies in the tunnel. But I think opening ceremonies for sure, and then, like, you know, privateers like us, we don't really get a lot of fan, you know, talk. We don't get to sign a lot of stuff. So when everyone comes by the tent, or I'm walking in between, like, to the stands, and I get someone to ask for an autograph, I'm like, yeah, for sure. Like, that's super sick to me. I love it.
That's pretty cool. At the same time, though, there's pros. There's also cons.
For sure.
So what's a con?
To just the fan stuff or what?
No, not the fan stuff.
As far as your racing program or what, you know.
Yeah.
I guess just like you kind of have to
maybe traveling.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy the traveling. The traveling sucks. That's why I choose East Coast. Like West Coast kind of sucks doing those 5-hour flights because I don't have a place to stay out there.
Right.
You know, public tracks kind of suck to do, but
yep.
I honestly think like it's part of the sport and you have to get over this. But you don't really have a lot of downtime. Like throughout the week, if you want to go get like simple stuff, you want to go get a haircut, dude. Sometimes you're too tired. Like Wednesdays and Saturdays are cycle days, but you do so many miles on the bicycle. Like it's not even. You don't really have a lot of time to do anything.
It's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot.
You got to breathe, sleep, and eat this stuff, which it's what you got to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to think about what's the guy next to you doing.
You know? Yeah, that's what keeps me going. I think they're doing more, so now I got to do more.
Yeah.
So you've obviously mentioned the fact that like you want to make all the night shows or whatever, but like,
sure.
and obviously was that your goal? Are you setting that goal for yourself this year? Obviously, you've made all the night shows, but like what's next as far as say next year?
Yeah.
Like what kind of goals are you setting for yourself?
So after I get this hardware stuff out, like next year, I think if I'm on the bubble already to main events, like, and I train at home and do the whoops loop that I'm gonna plan on building at my house in Maryland, trying to get a little whoops loop so I can just because that's a make or break. Corners and whoops, that's what kills us all as privateers. So if I can do that and get that figured out, like I want to be a main event guy each round.
Yeah,
that's spot on though.
And it's spot on, but I mean don't get me wrong, it's a tall task because anything can happen if you don't get in through the heat. Like LCQs are carnage. I mean Jordan Smith didn't make it. It's crazy.
Right.
So it's.
Yeah, but I think you're right there, Garrett, though, and even Shane, too. Like, when you watch these guys, I mean, it's one thing, obviously, if you're a factory guy, factory suspension, whatever, you're supposed to be expected to get in there. But for the guys that are, on the bubble, the true make or break really is whoops and corners. I mean, most of them, yes, sometimes there's a tricky rhythm that somebody's trying to put together. But for the most part, the privateer guys are doing almost all of the same rhythms. So then where's your difference maker outside of a straight line? If you're all hitting the triples, if you're all doing a 3-3-2 in the rhythm, your separators are your corners and your whoops. I mean, you could see that video. I think it was Houston, where Deegan just rails that corner.
Dude,
I mean, that video
most
went
insane corner speed I've seen.
Yeah, but again, corner speed. You do that in every single corner on the track, you're dropping a second. You hit those whoops and you're blitzing them and staying on top instead of jumping through, you gain a second. Well, typically, from what I've looked at this year so far, your first place versus 40th place of making the night show qualifying is usually right around a 6-second gap.
Exactly.
So if you're in a 6-second gap, if you're the guy that's sitting there in, let's just say 25th, 30th, 35th in the time qualifying, which, you know, like Aiden, he was, I think, 30th, 32nd in most of his, you know, night show stuff. You shave 2 seconds, now you're at 18th place. You're main event guy.
For sure.
You know, so
Right.
you got to figure out, and I think the biggest thing outside of, you know, putting together the same rhythms, the corner speed and the whoops. And I would say probably even more than the corners is the whoops. I think the whoops is probably the biggest separator in the privateer side.
I mean, obviously the goal is to make it to the main, you know, main event. But between time qualifying and all that, like the whoops are new and they kind of hold up or whatever. But what I've seen this year is like these whoops just fall apart.
Oh, they're destroyed.
Every main event, and it's like you got to be able, once you make it to that point, you got to be able to adjust what you're doing in that. But because if you build a big whoop pad or whoop loop or whatever, like they're gonna be really good, but are they realistic?
Right.
Compared to like what you're doing in the main event, like. You can't replicate what you do at the races. That sucks, but
Well,
wish you could.
Garrett, tell Shane the story. Shane wasn't here when you and I were talking about this. The story about being out there with a shovel and digging bricks and stuff.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
So in it was 2021, the year I broke my leg. You know, we came out of outdoors. I made a couple outdoor nationals, and I was, you know, pumped. I made 3 night shows at Supercross that year, and I was like, you know, I need to work on my whoops. My whoops and my corner speeds suck.
Yeah.
Doing all the same rhythms, just like he said, like rhythms are fine. Well, my dad brings in like, you know, maybe 25 or 30 loads of clay from his buddy. You know, dump truck loads. We're building our own set of whoops, and I'm down there. They're concrete. It's like some of the worst dirt I've ever seen. Like I would take a California test track over this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm going through and I get a flat tire. I'm like, dude, what is going on? Like, I don't understand. So I go down there. There's full cinder blocks. There's bricks. Yeah. There's rocks. Like, there's pieces of concrete. I'm like, Dad, look, I really appreciate what you did, but dude, this dirt is really bad. Like, it's.
What did he say? Like, I'm like, man up and just freaking hit it. Or what?
He said, well, if you go fast enough, you won't hit in the bottoms of it. And you won't hit it. I said, you know, yeah, I guess you're right.
That's
Sounds
a typical
good.
dad response.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to go back to the qualifying thing. Like, if you qualify, I think the best I qualified this year is 30th, and it doesn't sound that great, but dude, everything is so close in time,
Yeah.
it's unreal. But
So sometimes it's 10th.
yeah, no, for sure. And
Yeah.
if you go from 30th, you drop a second and a half. Now you're at 25th or 22nd. That makes you line up for the heat race so much more close to the box. Gives you a straight line, try and get yourself a hole shot, get you in a better position just to make the main event. So
Yeah.
if
Which-
you can
I mean,
up your
that's-
qualifying, dude, like it just sets your night up completely better.
Well, and that's got to be your goal now.
Right.
Right. Qualify better, get a better gate pick, and get in the main event.
Exactly.
You know, you've made the night shows in every one that you've done. So next step, main event.
For sure.
You know, try to get it in there. So East Coast, I know this weekend's an off weekend for everybody, for the boys. I saw a lot of people. I think Kenny went on a cruise. I saw RJ was out at the beach on the water and stuff like that. So good weekend off for everybody. But then next weekend, I believe they go Arizona,
Yep.
right? Glendale?
Yeah.
And then after that would be Atlanta.
Yep.
Are you doing Atlanta?
Doing Atlanta, and then I'm doing I think Jersey's next.
Yeah, Jersey, which is, that one's a Triple Crown, right?
Yeah, it's a Triple Crown or East-West. I'm not sure which one.
think it's both.
Yeah.
I think it's both.
Shoot. Dude, those are gnarly.
Yeah, I'll look it up right quick while we're talking about it. But or maybe Tyler, if you can look it up and see. Tyler's our producer over here in the back on the table. You can see him in the background of the cameras. But
What do you think about the Triple Crown like qualifying? Well, I mean, obviously it's like you got to go out there and haul the mail straight out of the gate.
for sure.
But like for a privateer, is it more difficult, or what's your opinion on it?
So I haven't raced one yet. But
Oh, you haven't?
I
Oh,
haven't
okay.
raced one yet. But
yeah, because you didn't go to Dallas.
No, I didn't go.
You guys took that weekend off.
Yeah, because after Tampa, I hurt my knee. I thought I tore my ACL because the
Yeah.
doctor pulled on my knee and he goes, "Yeah, this thing's pretty loose." And
Yeah.
I was like,
You had a little bit of a get off there.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a get off, so I missed that round. But I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I think you have to qualify top 20.
top 18, and then they do a LCQ during the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a daytime LCQ for the remaining 4 spots.
Gotcha.
So you got to qualify top 18 to automatically get in, and then LCQ for 4, and that 22-man gate would be for the 3 mains.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
So basically, when you go and do one, there's no messing around.
Dude, you got to you got to let it eat right off the rip.
Well, I mean, you're talking about too, though. Like Garrett, you mentioned that your top qualifying spot was around 30th. I think Aiden was right around 32nd or something, maybe 30th in Tampa. I don't know, but if you think about the expense, and that's part of it why we do this podcast, because for me as a team owner side, I try and share openly, how much this stuff cost and the travel and everything. And you look at Dallas being a 16-hour drive. We went, and if I would have known at the beginning of the season, I didn't look when I went to register for events for Aiden and Cole. I didn't look at the details of what every event was, whether it was an East-West shootout, whether it was a Triple Crown.
Yeah.
If I would have known ahead of time that it was a Triple Crown before we paid for it, then I probably would have given it a little bit of extra thought, because you got to think about it like this. Your top 18 goes in, then you got to be top 4 to go. If you're a bubble guy that's maybe or maybe not making night shows, and you're sitting in the back of that like 38, 39, 40 spot, maybe even 41, 42, well, there's really no point because there's no night show. Like the night show is main events 3 times. So now you're trying to be a bubble guy that's making main events.
Right.
And that's even harder.
Super difficult.
So when we went out there, obviously you get to go, you get the experience, and that's a big thing for the boys to be able to see it and have the experience. But at the same time, it's like, man, you really need to be like a top 25 guy, like on the bubble, maybe making some mains, maybe not making some mains to make it into a Triple Crown. It's just so much more difficult to do it, that
Turns into like a bummer weekend, It's like you go all the way out there and
It's Glendale. I think Glendale's the Triple Crown.
Glendale is also a Futures.
Glendale is a Triple Crown.
So I think New Jersey's not?
No, it says there's only 3, and I'm looking at the Supercross website. It says Anaheim 2, Arlington, and Glendale for the 2023 Monster Energy Supercross Triple Crown champion.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
because
It might just be East-West then.
it's a East-West showdown. It's a Futures also.
Gotcha.
So New Jersey, East Rutherford, New Jersey. That one's going to be at MetLife Stadium. Got it right here on the Supercross Live website. So you got a 250 East-West showdown, which that by itself throws another mix into it. Because if you got an East-West showdown, now you're not just trying to be top 40 on your coast. You're trying to be top 40 on both coasts.
Right. Yeah. And there's people who shred, like privateer-wise, that will knock us out.
Oh, that's going to be a difficult round.
Yeah.
So you got Glendale's coming up next week. Tyler says that one's the Triple Crown, and it's also a Futures. Then you got Atlanta, which is out in the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's not in downtown anymore. They've been there for a couple years now. It's kind of a cool venue. It's similar to Daytona vibe.
Yeah, it's super sweet.
And then East Rutherford, New Jersey. So that'll be an East-West showdown. And then after that is Nashville.
Yep.
April 29th is Nashville. I'm looking forward to that one. Shane and I are flying up. We're going to that one. So we look forward to that. We were going to go to Atlanta, but we have not made any public announcement about this yet. But Aiden had a pretty good little get-off this week. Garrett, you were out there with him at the Dog Pound. You guys were kind of training together this week, doing some of the same program and riding together at the same time. And Aiden just kind of got outside of a rut with his front tire on a 3-in to one of the rhythms and ended up coming up short and banged up his ankle. Had to take a little trip to the hospital and get some x-rays checked out and see what's going on. And good thing is nothing is broke, so that's a positive. Nothing broke there, but I believe he's going to have an MRI on Monday to try and see if there's any ligament damage or anything like that. But at least right now, from what the doc is saying, is they wrapped him up with a soft wrap, put him on crutches, and keep all the weight off of it for 2 weeks. So that would put us pretty much right up to Atlanta.
Right.
So there, it just doesn't make much sense to try and go up there and race on a bum foot, trying to get in. So I think the way it's looking right now, which this may change, it could change any day, but as of this recording of the podcast, it looks like we're going to skip Atlanta because Cole is still coming back from his arm injury, which is looking really good.
Yeah.
Getting it plate and screwed was a good choice there. His recovery time is good, and He's been back on the bike cycling. I saw he went on a cycle yesterday with Benny and Jet and Chance and the boys, and they went for a cycle, and he's doing well on his exercising part, but he hasn't been riding the bike yet because of trying to jar that arm. Would give it the full time to heal. So, Cole's plan right now is going to be to get back on the bike when he can and start focusing on outdoors, and then Aiden at the meantime is going to be recovering from this foot injury and see if there's a possibility to race Nashville. But we're going to Nashville either way because we already booked the flights. We already booked our Airbnb, so we got to go no matter what, Shane.
Yeah, we're just might go as fans, but hopefully Aiden is able to.
You going to wear that tank top?
I got like 5 others like this one, so it's a possibility if the weather's hot enough.
Tank top every day up there?
Just tanking it.
Just tanking it.
Yep.
All right, so Garrett, then we got Nashville for you. That's going to be your final Supercross of the season.
Right.
And then shortly after, I think you said it was like the next week, you're going to go get checked out with the doc and see if you can get some of that hardware out.
Yeah, so I'm going to fly. The 29th is Saturday.
Yes.
Sunday, I'm going to fly back to Clermont, get it, load my truck up, get a practice bike, go back to Maryland. I think it'll be May 2nd I'll drive home, and then May 5th I have a consultation to see if I can get this hardware out because
So what's your plan if the doc actually wins the argument and you don't take it out? Are you going to do some outdoors?
I guess I'm going to go outdoors then. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really thought about it. I talked to my dad. I was like, what if he says no? And he's hard-headed. He doesn't care. He's like, we're getting it out. Like, it's bothering you. Like, you got to, plead your case to be able to get it out. I'm like, well, I mean, if the professional's telling me that we shouldn't get it out because it'll re-break quick enough, like, then I'm not going to get it out.
I mean, I could see the doc, going kind of both ways there.
Oh, for sure. And the reason, like, the way I look at it is if I'm not injured, if I don't have something broken and I can't physically ride my dirt bike, there's no reason for me to miss a race. Like, I wanted to race outdoors, and my dad was like, look, even me, my dad, and Ronnie sat down, and we talked about it, and he said, like, you're complaining about it, you're always going to have issues with it until you get it out. And I was like, all right, sounds good, but if he says no, I'm not going to be bitter. Like, I'll go race outdoors. I like outdoors. The pay kind of sucks. That's about it.
I haven't looked at that.
That's a big. I mean, are you talking about like the whole season? Because that's a big season. That's a lot of traveling.
Big. Oh, for sure. But I'm like,
you're talking about the MX Sports payout.
Yeah, just MX Sports. I think I went. I don't know. I want to say I went like 18, 20 or something like that at Washougal. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know that I got top 20, and I think I made maybe like $820 for two 35-minute motos.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was $800. I think it was like $700 something. I'm like,
I mean, I'm not gonna say anything bad about it, but you can make more money than that at a damn local race.
Right, for sure. I mean, there's an easy solution, dude. If I just twist my wrist harder, I can make more money. But
right,
shoot,
it's easier said than done.
But you're working pretty damn, especially outdoors. You're working pretty damn hard to make a couple bucks. You know what I mean? So,
well, we've always had comments about that. The pay and the contingency programs and stuff like that. These guys are working their tail off during the week and putting the effort in on the weekends to go out there and
risking major injuries, and it's tough.
No, it's a lot, no doubt. So I want to take a second real quick and pause and just say that episode 26 brought to you by Premium Outdoor Products. They're over in Clermont, Florida, right off of Highway 27. They're open Monday through Saturday. They've got outdoor furniture, outdoor kitchen, quality USA made products for any outdoor space that you have. So anybody that's looking for some furniture like patio furniture or grill for your big green egg or Kamado, whatever it may be, go check out Premium Outdoor Products.
That's right up our alley, man. Like,
oh yeah.
Do you have any discount codes for these people?
We're gonna have to call them up.
We're gonna have to figure something out.
Yeah, I know my wife, she's wanting to add like a little outdoor pergola space, little cooktop area over there by our pool. So I know that we are talking about making a drive over there to see these folks here within the next couple of weeks and check out some quality outdoor furniture with the Premium Outdoor Products. So a huge thank you for them for being a part of this episode and being a part of our team and coming on. So anybody looking for that stuff though, man, make sure if you need any outdoor furniture or outdoor living space that you want to do up and decorate, Premium Outdoor Products, that's the place to do it. And make sure if you do go by there, you call them, you email them, or if you go by in person, let them know that you heard about it on the Future MX radio show and on the Future MX podcast and wanted to go check them out because we sent you that way. So that's a huge help to them and to us also, and greatly appreciate that for anybody looking. But Garrett, we've talked about the amateur stuff. We talked about riding and where you're at right now. But we have always, on almost every episode lately, where we try and take a rider like yourself, Mr. 242 Garrett Hoffman, and peel back the onion a little bit. Where try and get somebody to see you, like raw you, right? So we know you guys all have a training schedule, you know, whether it's 3-4 days a week on the bike, and then your cardio schedule. But outside of that, like, let's break it down even further to what is the Hoffman's favorite food? Like, is it got to be pretty strict on diet during the week, or is there like a cheat day on Sundays, or?
I pretty much eat like, I try to eat clean, I do, but I have really bad like stomach issues in general. I've had to spend so much money in samples and stuff like that, just in doctors. I've gotten acupuncture, like everything done. Cause I had it to where like I wouldn't be able to eat anything. I'd go ride my dirt bike and I would have the gnarliest stomach cramps to where I couldn't ride. So I try and stay like pretty clean, but dude, lately I've been destroying some sushi. Like, I don't know what it is about it. Like, I went through a kick where I didn't like it that much, but now, dude, I'm getting it like twice a week.
Yeah.
That's so good.
That's a good choice.
There's sushi's, it's amazing.
Sushi is good. So, I mean, when you're talking about eating clean, are you talking like just some grilled chicken, a lot of veggies, fruit?
Yeah. Like I do, my go-to is a nice ribeye, some mushrooms, sugar snap peas, and then some rice on the side. Like, it's pretty lean, pretty nice, like clean stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I don't know. Just sushi's been calling my name. I love it.
Yeah. Now, do you ever see yourself like counting calories or how much your intake is?
I mean, I try to. My dad's really big on that because he was a triathlete and he was a bodybuilder, so he was always one to count my calories. He was like, you're not eating enough. You're burning more than you're putting in. He's trying to get me to count. I'm like, dude, like, respectfully, I don't have time to go on my phone and log like this amount of calories for a steak and all this stuff. So I just kind of just eat. Yeah. I listen to my body a lot. If my body says I'm hungry or like you're full or you're getting underweight, like, you gotta start grubbing. You gotta start eating some more.
No, I know. We talked to Pooh and I were talking about this and looking at the different, there's multiple platforms out there right now of people that can help with, diet, nutrition, eating. But, one thing about like being out there on race days, you guys with Supercross, your schedule, I mean, it's a pretty early morning on Saturdays to track walk in. And then as soon as track walk is over, you got to start getting everything prepped, ready, geared up. And then you've got qualifying, free practice, and then the 2-time sessions. But you got to make sure you're fueling the body between those.
Yeah, I got a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean the amount of food and nutrition that you need to bring in throughout the day, and it needs to be quality food. You can't really just have, all right, well, I'll just grab some chicken fingers out of the stands when we're inside the stadium, or a bag of chips at the truck. But eating good quality food and making sure you have enough of it. Do you feel like you see any of that throughout race day of struggles?
Yeah, right. Like Supercross, especially, if it's worse outdoors, because outdoors you have to leave your hotel sometimes at like 5:45, 6 a.m. So the Supercross, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a straight up head case on race day. Like, dude, like straight up, like
you're not the only one,
dude. Like I'm stressing if I'm gonna, like, I know I'm a night show dude, and I know that I'm a potential, like, I should be saying in my head, like, you're a main event guy every night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I go in there so stressing if I'm gonna be top 40. So like I'll eat maybe an egg and a bite of toast in the morning, go out for time qualifying, do track walk. That's at 8 o'clock. By the time 12 o'clock comes around for free practice, I haven't really ate much. Yeah. So now I'll do 2-time sessions, and once I know that I'm set, I'm in the show, I'm gonna go racing tonight, then I'll start eating. But then by that time it's too late. Like, you're already in the hole.
Yeah.
So my dad's been trying to push me on, like, whether it's you eat just a little bit of fruit, or you eat a bar, you eat something, like, you have to constantly eat.
Yeah.
And same thing I work with Alex Martin in troll training, and he's really big on eating. Like, no matter if you're drinking your electrolyte drink and you eat half a peanut butter and jelly or half a apple or just something, you always, every time you stop off your dirt bike, you should eat something.
Yeah. And troll too. I mean, troll training, they have multiple different levels of their program.
Right.
Like I looked at theirs. I mean, it's very similar because, I've worked with Michael Byrne in the past, and Burner has the Moto Blueprint right now where he can build a custom program, but troll could do something similar for that. And I think that's what you have with him is, he has multiple different tiers and platforms and stuff that you can do with him. So, I mean, I'd love to try and get him on that episode one time.
Dude, that'd be sweet.
Bring him down and talk about what he's got going on. But, food is very important, making sure that you're staying up with hydration, nutrition, getting the calories in because you're going to burn it. But outside of that, on race day, Is there anything on race day that like you do, whether it's a superstition or whether it's something I have to do before, on every race? Do you have anything like that you go through?
I have my routine. I really try to stay away from like superstitions because it gets like I'm already a head case. If I know I put my boot on the wrong direction, like the left before the right, like I'll start tripping out. But I do my right knee brace and my left boot every time. Right knee brace before left, then left boot before right. That's just one thing that I always do. It's my routine. I have to do it.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, and
whatever ticks. Man.
Yeah, it seems to work sometimes, but yeah, I don't know. I'm weird like that.
Well, I have seen, we have multiple different social media platforms between our Instagram, our Facebook, our TikTok. I think our TikTok right now, Shane's, we got over 130,000 likes and like 16,000 followers, in the past couple months. And I always look over and I see what everybody else is doing, whether it's, Drew or Aiden or Jet. Right. But I also look at yours too. And you got some pretty funny ones on there.
Dude, like everybody's so, you show up to the race, everyone's mean mugging and like everyone takes it so serious, which dude, it's good. Like it's your job and you're a professional. I understand.
Yeah. But you got to have some fun,
dude,
too.
Like on TikTok, like I think I maybe have like a handful of motocross, me riding my dirt bike, whether it's just me making something funny or just like I posted a video of me walking my dang dog this morning. Like, it doesn't always have to be motocross.
Well, there was one where you had like the big bruise on your leg.
Oh, dude, that one was bad.
That one was on there.
I took a handlebar to the thigh, like right to my groin, and that was probably one of the weirdest injuries I've had. Like, no matter what I did, it always hurt. Like I couldn't ride. It was against the shroud. I couldn't do a start because I couldn't squeeze. Like it sucked.
Well, I mean, and Shane, from everything, and you're, being the driver of some of the greatest guys that have ever raced a motorcycle, how serious everything is. But sometimes there's got to be some fun in it too.
There is. I mean, I think once you get to a level, I mean, they all take it seriously. But I mean, on Friday night, I've played cornhole with Eli. Like they do. Once you get to a certain level, they have the routine just like anybody else. But I think they start to have more fun, after a while because, he's doing the left boot, right boot, and knee brace thing right now. I mean, he probably doesn't eat because his nerves and you're a wreck,
sure.
And once you race for so long, they kind of relax a little bit more. It seems like.
Yeah. I just think that at some point, yes, you're there to do your expectations and do your job, like you said. I mean that is a big part of it. But at the same time, and I struggle with this probably the most on the team owner side. Like we're putting so much effort into this. Financially, mentally, physically. There's a lot of stress involved with the whole thing. But I often catch myself, and even my wife is pretty good about trying to say, you got to enjoy some of this too.
For sure.
I mean, in the big picture, you're 20 years old, traveling the country, going to see new cities every weekend, going to different places that many other 20-year-olds are not going to be able to go do.
Right.
I mean, this year alone, I mean, we've flown to Anaheim, California, and we've toured Fox and Oakley and Kawasaki. I mean, we've had a really cool year. And I catch myself a lot taking things so seriously and worrying about results so much that at the same time, it's like, man, you got to enjoy some of this too. And the opportunities that you have,
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard to get a smile out of this guy. Like we went to Tampa and he's just like so dang serious the whole time. I'm like, dude, relax. Like,
dude, it's hard.
I did see at Tampa, those pictures of you guys setting up for press day out of the rig, those were sick.
Yeah.
Those pictures under the lights when it was all dark out.
Tyler took those. Tyler, didn't you take those?
Yeah.
Those were sweet.
Yeah, no, those are some good quality stage photos right there. But press day was early. You had an early press day in Houston.
Yeah, dude, everyone kind of bags on the early press day, but I don't care. It's such an advantage. If you get to ride the track before, I'll wake up at 4 a.m. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Even though you're not riding the full track, you're still trying to get stuff together. You're seeing the dirt. You're putting rhythms together that they do allow you to ride. So there is an advantage to be able to do press day, and just like we did with those photos and videos and getting exposure for our guys and our team and getting out there early. There's a big benefit to that.
Yeah, it's publicity.
Yeah, so
that's what everything matters now.
I like that a lot. It's cool. But I just go back to the whole thing, though, of not trying to take everything so seriously. I mean, I understand it is a grind. You guys work your tail off. I see it all the time. And, I would say try and enjoy, as much of it as you can at the same time. There's got to be work and goals, but at the same time, you got to have some fun too.
Yeah,
you
like,
know, work hard, play hard, right?
I don't really operate that well when it's so stressed out. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta crack some jokes, be happy, make it fun. Like the one person who is always like, if I'm like stressed out or whatever, I'll go straight to Cullen Park.
Yeah.
Dude, Cullen is such a funny dude. And if you ever watch his YouTube videos,
Oh, yeah.
dude, they're unreal.
Oh yeah, we've
like,
had Colin on the episode a couple times.
Yeah, dude, he's just joking around. He's always laughing. Like he's just a good like energy guy.
Yeah, well, I've known Colin since I was young and he was really little. There's a poster over there on the wall. Maybe we can
I see him.
put a picture up. But that was when Colin was on 50s and I was announcing. And then, obviously got his Phoenix Honda hat and stuff like that. But the whole Park family, man, they're awesome people. Yeah. And Colin he's always a positive guy to be around.
Oh, for sure.
Almost every round we've been at, I've either sat with his family or I've, make it a point to go out of my way and see him and, at least give him a hug or something.
Yeah, dude, he's a super cool dude.
They are cool people.
It's a great family.
You're kind of over there in that mix with them though, being in Clermont. You got a lot of those, Colin's over in that area.
Yeah.
You're probably not too far from Sandbox.
No, maybe let's say maybe 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So like when I moved down here 3 years ago, I didn't have any friends. Like I was at the facility and they were all pretty young people. Like at the facility at Sandbox, it was me, Casey Cochran, and then the rest of the pros. There was no amateurs there.
Yeah.
So Cullen ended up coming and riding. Like he'll pay the daily rate, ride a day or so. And him and Chase Sexton were super tight. Like for you to get into their circle, it was gnarly. Like they were like just super like, it was a group, it was a clique.
Yeah.
So I hung out with them a couple times and finally like we became like the trio. Like it was me, Cullen, and Chase. We did everything together.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Cullen had to go to North Carolina, live there and do his deal. But
yeah.
Chase is still here, so we still hang out, do whatever. Whenever, go get Chipotle, go get food. Usually go to the gym together.
And now you're hanging out with all those rowdies out there at the dog pound?
Oh, dude, now those kids are rowdy.
Yeah, they're rowdy.
Good kids, though. Super sick.
Yeah. It's got to be fun being out there, though, being around. I mean, you got the Lawrences there, which obviously are both leading each coast that they're in right now. So watching them every day, sometimes you got to sit back and just soak it in.
Oh, for sure. Like, Ronnie's really big on visual learning. He'll be out there with his little vintage camera. He's filming me through the whoops. We'll go hook it up to the TV. But sometimes you just got to sit back and, like, get your notepad out and look.
Yeah.
You watch Jet, you watch Hunter, their technique is always so perfect. They're always, toes tucked in, chest down through the whoops. Like, they never move. It's always just the bike teeter-tottering across each whoop.
Yeah.
Like, to watch them and to ride with them,
they are
it's exceptional.
Two of the most technically skilled riders I've ever seen.
So good.
Oh, they got discipline, and I would say that's all has a lot to do with Darren.
Yeah, Dazzy.
Because he watches every aspect and every move that they make on the bike, and when they mess up, they know it. Yeah,
and I'll tell you too, man. Chance has come a long way.
Oh yeah,
dude, that kid shreds.
He is doing really well right now, and at first when we were doing some of the future stuff last year and getting to watch him, I didn't know him that well, but I'd always watch him, and to see where he is today, I mean, he's doing really well. I was able to go out there the other day just because I had to go, obviously, after Aiden crashed and figure out the bike situation. But, their Chance is gearing up for outdoors right now, and watching them, pound out a 30-minute moto on outdoors, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah. He's pretty young, too, isn't he?
Yeah. So it's good.
I think he's not like, I think he has been setting his, like he said here on the show, setting his goals as far as this year is concerned with Supercross. But I think in the long haul, he's gonna be somebody.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, no, he's doing good.
I mean, everybody's somebody. You know what I mean? I could see that guy in the future. Chasing a championship for sure.
Yeah. So we talk about food, nutrition, race days, some of the stigmatisms that go with race days. On a lot of these episodes that we've had, we've talked about it with Drew and Aiden, Chance, Jet. We always talk about music. Music is the one thing that Sugar and we love music. I mean, anybody that's been around me knows I've got a Bluetooth speaker in every vehicle.
1,000%.
I keep one everywhere I go, in the golf cart, in the buggy, whatever. Shane and I both, Shane's way better than I am, but play some guitar and, just always had a passion for music. What is the playlist look like for Garrett Hoffman?
Dude, I got a bunch of them. I got one called The Killers, which is all like death stuff, like some heavy metal, which I don't tap into that one much, but I listen to literally everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's, I have a couple playlists called All Smiles, which is all like alternative stuff, which is all like, if I'm in a bad mood, dude, it's all happy music.
Yeah.
Like I get it all laid out, but Music is great for everything. Like,
Well,
it gets you through it.
So you have it broken down for what you want to get out of the music.
Oh, for sure. So I have,
It's got to be by the mood, right?
yeah, so I got a country one, which is called Yee Yee. And then I got a rap one, and I got alternative, then I got the death stuff, and then I got just one for reggae, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I got all genres.
So you're across the board.
Dude, I got all
That's
of it.
awesome.
That's the
For
same
sure.
same way I am.
Because, like, you go to a party or you go to a function, whatever, and people play music, like, there's all different genres out there that people listen to. And some people are stuck to one, but
Well, it's
I
like
like
if
all of
I
it.
was RJ Hampshire today sitting on the beach, you know, if anybody looks at his Instagram, you know, you can see that he's on the beach over there and probably near his hometown, Newport Richie, something like that.
Yeah.
But if I'm headed to the beach, I'm listening to more reggae,
sure.
island stuff.
oh, yeah.
Some like Slightly Stupid. And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm you know headed to somewhere I need to get amped up, then we put in some rock in there. If,
Oh, yeah.
if we're headed more of a party vibe or something like that, I put some rap on, and then you know my go-to, my number one is always country. So I like some of the newer country that's out there right now, but I don't really like what's on the radio. So I put more my own twist on my own playlist, like on Spotify.
I'll tell you what this guy's into, and it's always like the same situation, you know, like when we're out and about, like hanging out, partying, whatever. We don't really party, like we're
Right.
not 15, but he loves turning on his 90s booty shaking music.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he loves
Oh,
it,
yeah.
dude. I'm like,
Yeah, dude,
we heard it last night, like the whole playlist.
Yeah.
Dude, I got two different. I got my rap playlist, like the mainstream, like what everyone listens to now.
Yeah.
Then I got old school rap, which got like Eazy-E, it's
yeah.
got all those. There's got
Yeah.
Tupac. Then I got country, that's just my mainstream country, which you hear on the radio. I don't really listen to that one much, but I got another one, which is like Woody Morgan. It's got
Yeah.
everyone, like the old, like kind of like South country, like
More
like,
outlaw country.
Yeah, outlaw type stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
super
little
sick.
Cody Jinks and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Throw that in there. But no, I'm the same way, and I just think that music always brings you around. Like if you're outside, you know, barbecuing, then you got this playlist. If you're headed to the gym, you got the stuff that's going to amp
Oh,
you
yeah.
up. You know, I mean, you're not going to go do a 2-hour cycle and be listening to some slow country
no.
song.
Yeah, I got all of it. I don't know. I've never been picky.
No, that's good, man. That's good. Well, it'll be interesting to see what that doc appointment does there on May 5th, because that could kind of go both ways, whether you're doing outdoors, maybe not, depending on the hardware situation. But even, let's just kind of go both ways with that, hypothetically, either way. You get the hardware out, you're going to have a surgery, you're going to have some recovery time.
Right.
So outdoors would be a no-go.
No-go. Yeah,
And then you would be ramp up for East Coast 24.
for sure.
And then if the hardware or the surgery is, no, you need to leave it in, you're going to try and do some outdoor?
Yeah, I would assume that I would do some. If I do get it out, my plan is to get it out second or third week in May, so that I can possibly come back for Budge Creek for the hometown race.
Yeah.
If not, because I'm a privateer, we don't make a crap ton of money. You know what I mean? So I think at home I have a track at my house. I think while I'm on crutches or whatever, I don't know how long I'm not supposed to be weight bearing for, but
Yeah.
I think I'm going to post on Instagram, be like, hey, I have a couple like little kids, 50, 65,
Yeah.
a couple dads that are wanting me to train, because there's not many people in Maryland that does it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about getting like a group of 5 or 6 kids at my house, have a school once a week just to make a little bit of money and help some kids out locally.
Yeah.
Be something fun to do. I've never done it. I've learned a lot from RT. I feel like I could do the fundamentals pretty well.
Yeah, pass on a little bit of knowledge.
Yeah, just a little bit. But
Yeah.
and then if not, bring on outdoors, bring on the Sufferfest.
Yeah. So either way that goes, possibly do some outdoors if the surgery doesn't happen, or if you do the surgery, no outdoors. But either way, the goal is going to be 2024 East Coast
For
Supercross.
sure. Yeah, I'm gonna be racing Supercross next year for sure.
Yeah. There you go. All right, cool. Well, we keep on with that. But
Have you always been on Yamahas?
No, so I rode. I was on Suzuki up until 2018. 2018, I switched to Yamaha after January 1st. I switched. I was on Suzuki for 6 years. All throughout, after I got on 65, I got on 85. I rode Suzuki all throughout, and then I rode for the amateur team. It wasn't Bar X, but it was a little Suzuki amateur team that Tim Castro hooked me up with. He hooked me up with a couple bikes and stuff like that, some contingency and stuff. But which I really like Suzuki's. They're solid bikes, and now everyone after Kenny, he's going after it. Everyone's buying them, but I love Suzuki so much. But yeah, I switched to Yamaha, which just a little bit more power.
Yeah. It seems like Yamaha puts out a pretty damn good package.
Just for privateers
for quite a few years now. It's been pretty good.
yeah.
It's a good bike. Like, you can go buy it off the showroom floor, throw suspension and exhaust, and you can. There's a guy, Brighton Carroll, who doesn't have much engine work at all, if any. He's got a pipe, and he goes out and makes night shows. He doesn't.
There's plenty of guys out there right now that are doing stuff on almost stock bikes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I one of them, I think it was it Seattle or was it Detroit? I think it was Moran's that pulled the whole shot in both his.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Was it his heat and the LCQ or
and the
the
main? He pulled the main event.
Main?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
main
main
event.
event.
Yeah, he's on a bone stock bike. Bone stock.
That's a testament
I mean,
to
he's-
what kind of product these
Yeah.
manufacturers are putting out. That's
Yeah.
pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy to me, man. But as far as that goes, Garrett, do you watch the races? Like, are you a fan of the races and keep up with the top guys? And
Yeah, I mean, I am a fan. I have a hard time if I'm not if. So when I hurt my knee after Tampa, I didn't watch the next weekend. Like,
Yeah.
if I wasn't there, I couldn't race. Like, it kind of sucked. I was bummed out.
bummed you out. Yeah.
But dude, when it switches West Coast, I'm a full fan. Like, I'm for sure watching qualifying. I'm watching, seeing where everyone stacks up, see who makes a show and not.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting down on the couch watching at 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever it turns on, dude. I'm watching.
Yeah. I just always get curious. You get the riders that, like you said, it's such a grind, it's such a job that if I'm not in it, I'm not watching it.
Right,
And then you get the
right.
guys that are, I'm a huge fan of the sport no matter what. If I'm in it or not, I'm watching it 3 times. I'm
Yeah.
watching it live. I'm watching it the next day.
For sure.
Chad would watch it right after it happened.
Yeah.
Like literally go in the bus and turn the race on.
Yeah.
Like to I don't know what it was for, but like he just wanted to like watch the race and
Yeah, well, I was talking with Chiz and Benny Bloss the other day when I went out to the compound after Aiden crashed, and we were sitting there just kind of chit chatting, and I know Chiz was talking about like he usually on his flight, like he'll watch it on his flight, then he'll get home, he'll watch it when he gets home, and then like 3 days later he'll watch it again.
Well, for sure. Ronnie tries to
Damn.
get me to watch it. Like, as soon as I get in, next day on the flight, he tries to get me to watch it. And the reason for it is because when you're racing, you already have to. If you had a bad race, you want to put that in a box, tuck it away, don't ever look at it again, focus on next weekend. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So while it's still fresh in your brain, you can look at the mistakes you made, acknowledge them. All right, sounds good. Next week I won't do that. Tuck it away. I'm done. Like I'm not going to focus on the negativity.
Yeah, well, you can't change anything in the past.
No, for sure.
That's the thing that I would try to explain to any rider right now is not getting hung up in the past.
Right.
You can't change anything that happened yesterday.
Exactly.
The only thing you could do is move forward and making sure that mind frame stays where you need to be, that you're hitting your marks, you're doing your task, and you put everything out there on the track. Because like you said, man, there's so many factors that go into it. I know your dad travels to a lot of the races with you. When you got so many people putting so much into this around you, you got to make
Dude,
sure
it
you're
gets-
doing your part too.
It gets hard.
Yeah.
It puts a lot of weight on your shoulders because I know like my dad's a general contractor, so he does a lot of commercial stuff. He'll build a lot of Dollar Generals and PNC banks. So he does well for himself, but he's not able to toss around like all this coin. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have stuff bedded down.
Yeah.
So I know what he's spending. I know what it's taking. He's buying flights for me, my mechanic, my mom, and he's driving most of the rounds.
Yeah.
He can fly, but he sometimes wants to camper there. So I'm like, all right, look, you wanted to drive all the way to the next round. Like I understand that it's
Yeah.
banging for you to bring the camper and let me chill there. But it's super expensive. It gets it gets in your head for sure. I mean,
Yeah, it's a lot.
maybe that's because I'm a head case, but I mean,
Yeah, but
it is tough.
it's got to be tough on a young man like yourself to where like that people are putting out money and time and then if you have a bad weekend, which they do happen,
Yeah, they do.
you kind of feel like crap afterwards.
Dude, after Detroit, dude, it was tough for me because on paper it doesn't look that bad. I think I got 13th in the LCQ, but dude, I just rode so tight. I didn't execute my corners. My whoops were my biggest downfall. Like I just wasn't very confident on the bike, and we got home and like he was so like he wasn't mad at me, but he was disappointed, and that's what hurt the most. Like he wasn't speaking as much to me as he usually would. It was just a really quiet ride home, and I was like, damn, this I need to go faster next weekend.
Yeah, when your dad's quiet, there's something up.
Well, listen,
Right.
man. Like I think most people. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I think most people, especially a male, we want to impress our parents, specifically your dads. So there's a lot to that. I don't ever want to let my dad down because any of those. We have to have a talk moments.
Yeah, it's not good.
Those are always brutal.
Yeah.
So trying to impress your family and specifically your dad and make them proud. But at the same time, if you're putting in the effort and you're doing everything that you can do, then I respect that.
Right.
You know, and I think that's the same thing I ask out of my guys is, you know, I need them to know how much we're putting into this because that's the level I expect back. I mean, if I'm waking up at 4 a.m. to go do something, or if I'm putting out this much effort, then I want you to put out that much effort.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it shouldn't be fair for me to have to put out the effort and then you do not. And then, you know, if they show up to a race, and that's one thing that I always appreciate is, you know, watching the boys put in the effort, put in the work, try. And if you give me everything that you've got, I can't be mad at that.
That's all you can give. That's what my dad always tells me. He says, if you give it your best, I can't ask anymore.
Yeah. I just can't, do, you know, you see some of these guys, specifically when we were in the amateur stuff where you'd have somebody like pull off the track, you know, because they went down in the first turn, or, you know, they'd pull off the track because, oh, I'm not in a good enough spot. It doesn't matter. No, it matters. You're going to finish that race. Like get back out there and finish the race.
Yeah,
I mean,
your integrity matters more than that, dude.
Yeah. So there's a lot to it, but I mean, you got a lot going through your head too. I mean, you're trying to figure out, you're on the racetrack trying to get these lines nailed down, and you have split second decisions that happen on there. So, you know, it's good for you to be conscious of that and know it, but also go out there and execute.
Right. Yeah. I think the worst part was after Detroit, like we went on a 3-week break. So I was really upset that like we ended the note not bad, but just like not as great as I wanted to, you know, pull it off. So he came down last week and watched me ride, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you're making improvements." I'm like, phew. That's a little bit of weight left off my shoulder now. Like you got to see me ride since then. Like that wasn't the Garrett Hoffman that you see videos of, and you know, watched races the weekend before. But yeah, it was rough. Like it sucked.
Well, as far as being a fan of the sport, you know, and watching any of the races, I mean, is there anything that stands out to you as far as this year has gone? I mean, starting at, you know, A1 back in January on both the West and the East. I mean, you know, we see the Lawrence, the brothers that, you know, we are around all the time, and, you know, the success that they're having. But even in the 450 class, I mean, AP almost winning the race and going down. What a heartbreaker for him. You know, I mean, I almost cried sitting there watching that because I'm such a fan of AP. That's my son's probably favorite rider right now because he got a picture with him in Tampa. So, you know, just anything like that stands out to you?
I want to talk about the AP thing. Like when he crashed, now obviously split-second decisions. I'm not dogging the guy, but the way he tucked his head, dude, was scary.
Yeah.
Like when he was going in, it was ghost riding the whip when he tucked his neck like that and straight just bodied it to the back of his head. Dude, like that scared me. Yeah. Like I don't know.
Probably the most raw interview ever right afterwards.
I mean, from your question, for some reason this year seems like the best racing I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
In all aspects, both the Coast Lights and the 450s, it's like I haven't been this excited to watch every weekend in a long time. Like I don't know what it is, but like dudes are racing like gnarly now.
Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you got even like in the 450 side, you know, between Eli and then Coop, and I mean, I love Coop. Coop's a very good friend of mine. I talk to him all the time. I did some stuff for him the other day, and I did not expect Coop to be in the title hunt.
Neither did I.
I did not. And I'm not knocking him in any way, shape, or form.
No.
That's just my personal opinion. And I love the dude. I mean, I think he's a great person, but I personally did not expect him to be there. And now he's there, and now I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, he got that first win, and I think a lot of times it like flips a switch.
Yeah.
To where like, okay, it's time to go. And obviously the team's been working hard and trying to get that bike really good. And
I think that's the reason why my expectation wasn't that high, is because I think last year that, you know, they struggled with the bike quite a bit.
Right.
And, I mean, he's made that known a couple times, and I'm not knocking the brand by any way, shape, or form, but I think they have, you know, made some changes to the bike and made it better. And
yeah, I mean, look at AP too. You know, like they're way more comfortable on the bike, and I feel like Cooper's in his head, like as far as being mentally strong, is always there in the hunt.
Oh, when he gets confidence, man.
Yeah, it's not the fact that
just like the whole.
Dude, it's blood in the water for that guy.
The finger
you
thing.
Can see him. He's such a dog.
The going back and doing the finger over the finish line jumps. I mean, that's pure confidence right there. When he gets the confidence going, he's tough to beat.
Did you watch the press conference after that? Somebody asked him about it, and he said, honestly, you know, I thought, you know, it would, if I could do something to shake up Chase, like I was.
Yeah.
And he goes, and he literally said it was like seemed to work.
Yeah.
Because that night he did a front flip.
Yeah.
The guy literally Coop. I'm talking about like I think he thrives off that little bit of controversy.
Yeah.
Or likes to screw with people and get in their head. I mean,
Yep.
that's part of racing,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like if you can mentally screw up somebody outside of the track a little bit, and like get in their head a little bit, like Coop's good at that.
Well, and I think, like you said, Garrett just mentioned it. I think he did do it. And you look at Chase. I mean, Chase has got to be one of the fastest guys on the track every single weekend.
1,000%.
I mean, that guy,
Yeah.
his speed is incredible. But it's a reoccurring theme right now.
Right.
If he's constantly going down, whether it's just a simple washout, whether it's a full front flip. I mean, it's something.
Yeah.
But the speed of that guy is unbelievable, and it's to have him out there, in the excitement, and then, Eli just being the true champ. I mean, just grinding it out, obviously tying, I think right now, tied with James for overall race wins with 50 and passing Ricky this year. I mean, that guy's just an animal. And I think that's why it's so exciting this year is that you've got Eli, you've got Chase, you've got Coop, but then you get Kenny that throws in,
Right.
and then you get AP that throws in. And it's like, wait a second. You got 5-6 guys that could win tonight? That's pretty strong.
I think Barsh has been doing pretty good too.
Yeah. Barsh has been throwing it out there, and his
Unbelievable.
controversy with El Hombre. I mean, when those two guys get around each other, you're always kind of glued to the TV.
Oh, yeah.
When they're in the same section of the track together. So I mean, I think that's why it's exciting, and even in the lights class, I mean, you just had this whole big, Deegan,
Right.
Deegan, what was it, Deegan Jordan Smith,
Yeah.
issue, and I don't know if some of that was trying to be mental, like similar to a Coop, where Deegan's trying to say, hey, man, like I'm not just going to roll over for you.
Yeah, for sure.
And that whole thing goes down, and it's, we've talked about it already on the episodes before, but, it's tough from a team owner standpoint when you got two guys, going at it against each other that are on the same team. But either way, I mean, I think that's why it's exciting. I mean, it's cool to see the Lawrences, doing as well as they are right now, both Jet and Hunter. Wish them the most success as possible as they can to continue through this thing. And, RJ's been up there too, and he's been on the show before, and it's good to see him being a local Florida boy going out there doing his thing. So, Colin's had a great year.
Yeah, Cullen's been doing really good.
I mean,
for him.
I think he's kind of hitting his goals for this year. I mean, his idea was to come out this year and be a top 10 guy, and he's doing that.
That's what he's doing, yeah.
So it's cool to see people accomplish their goals and get through, some of those things. So that's exciting. But for us right now, as far as the Future MX team goes, Cole's coming back from the injury. We talked about that. Aiden had a little bobble. We'll skip Atlanta. We'll do Nashville. And then after that, we're going 450s.
Yeah.
So we're going to do some 450s for outdoors. We've acquired them this week. We got a practice bike and a race bike for the boys. And Garrett, you and I kind of talked about that a little bit earlier, trying to be competitive on a 250 in the outdoors, where the track conditions just rob the power.
Right.
I mean, for us, and I know you guys both have your own opinions, but for us, we decided that it would make more sense for us to race a 450.
Right.
Because we can essentially run a stock motor, a little bit of stuff done to the motor, an exhaust, an ECU, and suspension.
Right.
And be somewhat competitive.
No, I agree. 250 class on outdoors that's where you figure out where the power to weight ratio and the power advantage is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I would race a 450, but I'm 138 pounds. I think will muscle me around.
Yeah.
Like, I would have to beef up for sure. I like the 250, but it's hard on them. I had a 450 for practice because I would just blow them up left and right throughout the weeks, and then I wouldn't be able to ride for a couple days, go to the race, and I'm like still fresh. I'm like, because I don't ride that good when I'm fresh. I'd rather ride more in the week, show up Saturday and race. If I show up Saturday and I'm like super fresh, haven't rode for 3 days, I feel like I'm rusty. I got to knock the rust off.
Yeah.
But
we did that last year. We practiced on a 450 and raced a 250.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed to work out pretty well.
It's just the wear and tear on the bike.
It seems like too in the 450 class, like there's less guys trying to qualify.
I would agree.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot more young guys out there that are trying to qualify in the 250 class. Like you might have better chances to make something happen on a 450 in the outdoors.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at the Morans, situation. I mean, these 450s. I mean, are you really putting them to their potential?
No.
You know what I mean?
I think Chase is putting that bike past its potential because it's going so fast. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know, but no, hell no.
Yeah, and I mean, you get people like Moran's that talk about it, and even Carnell's mentioned it before and stuff like that. I mean, you could take a stock 450 and do some minor upgrades to it, and make it a competitive bike.
For sure.
A 250, you got to do quite a bit to it, to be comparable to those factory bikes, out there. I mean, if you're going on the line and you got a Star bike sitting next to you, you got to have some juices on you. I mean, you got to be ready to go.
Yeah,
So
it's just super expensive.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why for us it is budget, and instead of having to go get $5,000 motors one after another, you can keep essentially a stock motor. We run we've got the Get ECU. I don't know if you run ECUs or not, but we've got the Get ECU, and you throw an exhaust on it, and then we've got our Race Tech suspension right now, and you put that package together on a 450, you can be competitive.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that's our goal. That's the game plan, is get through outdoors and then figure out what we could do next year. I mean, it all, as always in this sport and with everybody, it all boils down to budget, man.
For sure.
You got to have a budget. You got to have the funding to be able to go racing. And, right now we're committed to doing the outdoors. And then after outdoors, we're going to figure out what we're going to do, whether we've got the budget and the funding there to go, do something next year, or whether we don't, we'll map that out and cross that bridge when we get there. But
I'll keep working hard, and trying to make as much money as I can to help you out, RJ.
yeah, well, keep wearing those tank tops, baby.
Hey, if I got paid for looking good, we go racing the whole season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Garrett, who are some of the people that are helping you right now? I mean, who do you want to thank while you're on the episode, and people that do stuff for you?
So my biggest sponsors right now, Stape Suspension, Dynamic Engines. They're helping me out a lot. Fly Racing. My engines are super good. Like, the best. This is for sure the best platform I've had all year. My starts have been good through qualifying. Had a good heat race starts. Kind of throw it away in the heat race if I crash in the sand like an idiot. But mom, dad helped me out a lot. Blender Power Sports, Fly for sure. Oakley's been helping me out a lot. Aaron's a really good dude.
Oh, yeah, he's awesome.
Aaron's sick. Yeah, he's been helping me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I appreciate those guys too, man, and everything that they do for us, with Oakley and Aaron specifically, but always keeping you dialed in. But no, man, that's good. It's good. You got a good program there going, and hopefully we can figure out something with the surgery and determine what you're going to do for outdoor, so we can follow along and go from there. But I just want to remind everybody real quick, episode 26 brought to you by Premium Outdoor Products, located over in Clermont, Florida, right off of Highway 27. They are open Monday through Saturday. They have outdoor furniture, outdoor kitchen, any quality USA made products that you need for your outdoor space. They can make it happen. So if you go over and check out the folks at Premium Outdoor Products, make sure you mention Future MX. Let them know that you heard about it on the podcast or on the YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen or watch, and let them know about it, so that way they know that we sent you there. But outside of that, Sugar Shane,
Yes, sir.
what else we got? Anything?
Just excited to get the racing back going.
Yeah, got a little weekend off here. We didn't get to watch any racing this weekend, so we had to take the weekend off, but we still get a podcast out for you guys. And then
Super stoked about going to Nashville.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people going to that race.
Yep.
A lot. Almost everybody that I've talked to. I mean, I've even got some friends of mine that are taking time off of work and stuff that are going to that race. So
I just want to, if I'm going to Nashville, I want Garrett to at least, hey,
Make the main.
Let's get in the main.
Make a main event.
Let's
Yeah,
get in
that would
let's
be
get in the
simple.
main.
That would be super.
That'll make my
Super simple.
That'll make my weekend. That'd be cool.
That would be sweet. No, I'll try extra hard for that one.
Good.
yeah, hey Garrett, just put it in Maine. No big deal.
Yeah, no stress. No stress.
Easy. Well, we're going to be rooting for you at that one. We will be there, like we said. My wife is coming up. Shane, I think your wife's coming up too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's quite a few of us coming up, and going to enjoy that weekend. We talk about music earlier in the episode, but man, Nashville,
That's the heart of it.
that's all part of it. Live music, live country music too, man.
Are you bringing cowboy boots?
Probably,
You're gonna
man.
have to.
Probably gonna have to bring some ostrich or something,
I mean,
rattlesnake skins or something.
I got some really nice ones. I didn't know what we were wearing. I'll call you the week before and see
We'll
see
map
what
it
our
out.
outfits are.
Yeah, we'll plan our outfits.
Yes, please.
Probably a team shirt with a cowboy hat, big belt buckle.
I don't know if I'll do the hat.
Oh yeah, we got to
At
do
least the boots.
it. No, got to do it.
Boots and short
It's
shorts.
Nashville, Shane.
Boots and
Full
short shorts.
package.
Yeah.
No, man, we got boots and short shorts. Is that
Yeah.
where? Oh, great.
Yep.
Great. All right. Make sure you don't have a team shirt with you. No, it would be fun though to map that out. We would get a little little laugh out of that. But no, there's a lot of people going to that one. I'm looking forward to it, and just watching the remainder of this season map out, man. See if these Lawrence boys can bring it home for the dog pound, and good luck to them and everything that goes along with it. But anything else, Garrett? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think I'm pretty solid.
Wrapping her up there. Tyler, anything else you got?
Nothing.
All right, well, let's
Come on, Tyler. You ain't got nothing?
No, nothing.
Thanks for the input.
Sounds good.
Well, we're going to wrap it up. Episode 26 of Future MX Radio. We hope you guys make sure that you subscribe, listen, share it, tell your friends about it, spread the word so we can gain some followers here. We'll keep on keeping on. We appreciate you listening, and thank you, and look forward to the next one. Thank you, Garrett.
Yeah,
thank you,
Thank you,
Sugar.
boys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Garrett.
it.